of a twin flame channeling. And yes, I am calling it a twin flame channeling because we're going to be using the twin flame ascension deck. This is a new deck that I received a couple of weeks ago, and I'm really excited to use it. I've already been using it for some client readings, for some personal readings, and it's really good. It's a really good one. I really recommend it. So this energy, this sacred union energy, divine partnership energy, whatever it is that you want to call it, I'm going to call it twin flame, not just because we're using the deck, but because we're kind of reclaiming that energy. We're kind of reclaiming that label. The reason I didn't like using that label is because it had been so corrupted, where people were using it to kind of romanticize the journey. And I get it. I was there. I was absolutely there in the beginning. But the journey really is about ascension. It is about your own soul's expansion and growth. And so, what this is about now is really doing this with a sacred partner, doing this in partnership with another. And so I'm kind of, becoming more comfortable with the label again, kind of reclaiming the label for myself. It's just a label too. It just helps to differentiate what kind of soul connection this is. It just kind of helps us to make sense of a journey that is so wild and so up and down. So what we're going to be doing is channeling, and then if you're on the Patreon, we're going to be doing a chat afterwards. But if you're watching this on my regular YouTube channel, then make sure that you go over to my Patreon and join for these live streams. If you join at the Ascension Connections tier, then once a month I actually do a message poll and a personal channeling for you guys, a light channeling. So it's kind of like you get a personal reading in a chat kind of setting. Okay, so that's going to be next week. So there's been a lot of interesting energy that has been coming in. It's kind of felt a little bit tumultuous, for lack of a better word. April was all about, it was that Aries energy, and we were feeling that fire. It was all about action. It was all about go, 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 forward momentum, picking up momentum. But we were doing a lot of releasing in the meantime. We were feeling a lot of purging. We were feeling a lot of up and down emotional energy because we were releasing a lot of emotions. The energy has shifted. We're now in Taurus season, but the energy began to shift. You might still be experiencing some of this. It depends on where you are in your own personal journey. But we began to see the shift. I began to see the shift about a week ago. And I was really just feeling that Aries energy, feeling that Kalima energy, just feeling that fired up energy. For me personally, I'm experiencing a lot of endings at this time, really wrapping up that cycle, really closing up the cycle that had been ending for a couple of months now, for maybe 6 months, even as far back as a year. Some cycles have been ending, and it really feels like there's this closure that is happening. And I can't see too far ahead for the collective. I can't see too far ahead for my own journey as far as what does that mean. But it's at this place where I'm just surrendered to that, to just allowing whatever new beginning is ready to come in to allow for that. But in the meantime, there's this ending that is happening. So I want to start this channeling talking about or reading some of the written channelings I've gotten over on my social media pages. So make sure that you're checking out or following me on Instagram, especially. That's my main page. But I do cross post over to Facebook and on my community posts on Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections on YouTube. So do make sure that you're checking out all the channelings for all the updates, but these feel really significant. So the Sacred Union Energy update that I channeled 2 days ago, I got the King of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Chariot. And what I had channeled was that this felt like it was very divine masculine led, this reading, whether for your own inner masculine or in partnership with another. So much is now coming to light with newfound awareness, recognition, and clarity, creating a marked change and expansive energy of growth within. Where there had been a withdrawal and disconnect from the true sense of self, remembrance of the sacred is beginning to blossom from the seed that had been planted. This is a next level awakening. This is the honored path of ascension. So there's so much that is happening at once here. The divine masculine is recognizing the divine feminine energy, again, either in partnership or within the self, or both, which is awakening their inner conscious masculine into higher frequency. They are learning or desiring to learn how to express themselves, communicate clearly and directly, lead from a place of higher heart guidance, and direct their lives in beautiful balance. They're leaving behind the inconsistency and the indecisiveness of the distorted masculine and recognizing their potential, including their worthiness, not from ego and entitlement, but from their growing self empowerment and recognition that they have a place within the sacred space of all things. So, that was a really powerful reading that came through in a written channeling on my social media. Today, I pulled some other cards in one of the reels on Instagram, and I did post this as well. We have, let me see here. We had the cards Yang, or the Rise of the Divine Masculine, Communication, and Self Love. And I channeled two messages here. It was mirrored energies with the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. So for the Divine Feminine, I said the Divine Feminine is feeling the masculine presence more viscerally than she has in a long time. And you guys might really be feeling this. It's almost as if you can turn around at any moment and your masculine will be there. It's like you feel them so close to you that it feels like they're at your door, or it feels like you're gonna just turn around and oh my gosh, they're gonna be right there, or you're picking up the phone and it feels like they're calling you. It's very visceral. It's very it's very strong. And for me personally, I hadn't felt this in a very long time, not this visceral. I always feel my divine masculine with me, but to the point where it feels like they are physically here, it's been quite a while for me. So that energy is coming in really strong again. For those experiencing this, reunions in the form of unexpected communication and meetups are beginning. For others, this is feeling your own inner masculine's deep awareness and presence. This is the rise of the DM in all aspects. Divine feminines who have detached from the outer connection to fully embrace and love herself and her journey in her wholeness are experiencing the union between her own inner feminine and masculine, wherein her inner masculine has healed to provide a safe and stable container for her inner feminine to flourish. So I'm going to explain that for a minute. So for those of you who are coming to union with yourself, this is your inner masculine that is really growing in stability, providing a foundation for yourself, really feeling that safe container. And your inner masculine is creating a container for your beautiful feminine essence to be able to flourish, to be able to express herself, to be able to trust her intuition and go from that wisdom, go take action from that place of guidance. This is your union between your inner masculine and your inner feminine energies. She has been creating a foundation for herself within herself, healing her traumas and shifting pain patterns back to love. This inner transformation will be reflected in outer union. So if you're feeling this within you, it will be reflected in an outer union or in an outer partnership with someone. With a conscious masculine who has done their own healing work and is on the same frequency. Allow yourself to be bold and brave enough to believe in the power of love again. Love is all around you and within you and will meet you in sacred partnership. So that was a specific message for the divine feminine. Then I received an energy for the divine masculine, which is really interesting, because this energy piggybacks on the most recent Sacred Union energy update that I just read, in which the divine masculine is experiencing a next level awakening and awareness of themselves. They are recognizing and beginning to honor the divine feminine energy within and in connection, which is causing their own inner masculine to grow conscious and rise into higher frequency. So as the masculine recognizes and honors the feminine energy, both within themselves and in their connection, then their inner masculine is activated to really rise into that conscious, sacred masculine energy. Because before they had been in the distorted energy, but as they recognize and really feel into the feminine energy and honor the feminine energy, it's making their masculine energy really grow, expand, and rise into the sacredness. And that is who they are. So they're rising more and more into who their true authentic self is, into the divine masculine, which is a really beautiful energy. They are desiring to express themselves in a way that is surprising them. And that was a really fun and interesting message that came out. There's sense of surprise. Oh, I want to communicate this. Oh, I want to express my feelings, especially to divine feminine. It's really surprising the divine masculine because they had suppressed themselves and their emotions, especially when it comes to the divine feminine energy, for so long. They wish to be able to communicate clearly, directly, consistently, and decisively in all areas of their life, recognizing the importance and value of this heartfelt expression. It's almost like they're realizing that the distorted energy of non-communication or suppressed expression hasn't been serving them, and now they're shifting their patterns. Now they're healing the cause of that, or why they had suppressed themselves, or why they had held back from expressing themselves, and now they're surprising themselves and saying, oh, you know, this is what it is to be a conscious masculine. This is the awareness of myself. This is the recognition of myself in my full embodiment, where it feels powerful to make decisions. It feels powerful to be consistent. It feels powerful to and self-empowering to speak clearly and directly, and to clear up any misunderstanding. So this is really like a new energy for the divine masculines, this level of awareness, and this desire to really communicate it. It's really kind of funny and beautiful. So they are healing their own distortions and leaning closer to love than the fear that held them back. They're gaining the courage within for bold action. And I was hearing, it's time to see what happens. And it felt like a leap of faith. So it's time to see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if I express myself. Let's see what happens if I take this leap of faith forward. Let's see what happens if I seize this opportunity. Let's see what happens if I lay it all on the line. It's almost like they're recognizing that the way that they were operating and the way that they were living was so suppressive, they hadn't realized that that was actually causing restrictions within them. That resistance was actually causing restrictions within them. And freedom is expression. Freedom is that leap of faith. Freedom is being bold and courageous and bringing about that inner sense of strength. That is what is going to give them freedom. And so they're beginning to understand the difference now, where they were and where they want to be, and what it takes to be in this now moment to get to where they want to be. So it's a changed energy for the divine masculine. It's really beautiful. Okay, so we're going to get to some cards. We're going to do a live reading here and see what is going on for this. And it's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit of an anecdote with you guys. Before I hopped on, I had we have some ants in the house, and it's really strange because we don't usually have that. But also I've been seeing ants, like the little creatures. I've been seeing ants like everywhere. Like it showed up on my TikTok feed, like twice, and I'm like, okay, I get it. There's a message here. So I actually pulled out my spirit animal book. Can you guys see that? You guys see that? There you go. My spirit animal book. And I looked up the meaning of ants, and it was all about partnership and collaboration, and you don't have to do this alone. And I'm laughing to myself as I'm reading this, and I'm saying, okay, spirit, I get it. It's union energy. And that's what it is, because that's what union energy is. It's working in partnership. It's working in collaboration. It's working in union with each other. So, working as a team. And I feel like that's the energy of this connection right now. So it's really, really beautiful. Okay, so let's get some cards and see what is going on in this connection now. All right. Spirit, what do you need us to know about this connection? What do you need us to know? Sacred Union Energy update, please. First card to come out is the card of Rebirth. I'm going to have some glares here. Can you guys see that? Rebirth. So it says personal freedom unleashed. And what was I just saying? That they're really recognizing that there's freedom in this connection. That where they had been holding themselves back, it was only, this really feels like divine masculine, but I'm going to get to the divine feminine in a minute. They really recognized that where they were running from was their own past templates and pain patterns caused by other dynamics and other relationships. It's not this relationship. For the divine feminine, you're recognizing the rebirth within yourself. You are just in this place of recognizing the divine feminine energy, the truth of who you are, and that's part of your rebirth. When I shared that I was going through some endings here, that's what this is. It's endings to beginnings. That's that rebirth energy. There has to be an ending of the old version of yourself in order for there to be a new. Divine masculine is mirroring this and going through this as well, realizing through a lot of conscious awareness, new conscious awareness, just where they were holding themselves back from being reborn. They were holding themselves in old patterns, they were holding themselves in old templates, they were holding themselves in old versions of themselves, not on purpose, but just by repeating patterns, by repeating behaviors, by repeating actions. And so now they're recognizing that freedom comes from being who you are. Freedom comes from being your true authentic self. Freedom comes from self-expression and communication. Freedom comes within this partnership, because this partnership, and we do have to go through this journey of releasing attachment and releasing the old templates of relationship, even within a connection, a divine partnership connection. Because at the very beginning of your journey, if you remember, like I said in the very beginning, we romanticize this. We romanticize the connection. And it's so much more. That's like the cherry on top. That's the icing on the cake. I don't know what analogy they're bringing to me, but that's like the after effect. The full meaning is for ascension. The full meaning is for you to recognize this rebirth, for you to recognize the truth of your soul, the truth of your sacred self, to embody that, to really anchor that in, to be and remember that you are a spiritual being, that you are a part of God's source energy itself, but within the human construct, within the human being, having this human experience, to be that bridge, to be the balance. And so remembering this connection is part of it. Having this connection is part of it, because you both activate each other. You're both on this ascension journey together. This is the sacred union path of ascension. And so this divine partnership, you're doing this together in that energy of unconditional love. You're just clearing out all the karma and all the junk and all the what I like to call soul sludge that has really been weighing you down, not with each other, but from past lifetimes or past experiences or past traumas that you then work together to heal. And until you are both conscious of the journey, there can be triggers, there can be a lot of upsets, there can be a lot of terror moments, there can be a lot of separation energy. But when you both become really conscious of the journey and conscious even of each other and honor each other in the energies that you were in, that's when the illusion of separation is broken. That's when union energy comes in. That's when everything becomes so much more loving and harmonious, and you really work together in partnership. It's like that ant energy. It's teamwork, it's collaboration, it is partnership. That is this rebirth that we're seeing in both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and in the union energies itself.